Well, you know it's one of your first sessions back when you forget to charge everything. Yeah, my bike computer, my lights, and well, my power meter as well. So I need to change the battery in that. But I still got the session done old-fashioned style. It was 2 30-minute blocks at about tempo, sweet spot, effort. So I went on heart rate instead, obviously, which ended up being at around like 150 beats a minute, because at the minute 150 beats a minute equates to about 300 watts. And to be honest, I'm not really following anything too structured this time of year. I'll get into that in a bit more detail at some point, what my winter is going to look like. I'm thinking about trying a different strategy this winter to what I've normally done, or at least for the first couple of weeks anyway. And part of that is getting out, and obviously, and to keep with the theme, my GoPro batteries just died. You couldn't make it up. So at the minute, I'm getting out. I'm doing 1 or 2 longish rides a week, but like with no real aim. You know what I mean? Like just getting out for a couple of hours longer than I maybe would, and then I do like 2 sessions that are pushing me a little bit more, but still nothing crazy, but they're back to back, just for that extra stimulus. So I get a load of work in just a very short space of time, and then that's basically it. So like 4 rides a week, or 4 sessions a week, which is quite low for me again, but it's just this time of year. And I'm also in the gym twice a week, and that's kind of quite taxing at the minute because obviously I've had such a break from it. So there's a few things going on behind the scenes. So I've actually finally put the big ring back on, the 52. Although some would argue, some racers would argue that's not a big ring. So yeah, back on the 52-36. So the front mech's gone back on. So nice having like 2 gears again. I was getting a bit sick of just doing intervals uphill, or like just riding on the same routes, because I knew that I'd be able to do my efforts. So now I can ride anywhere, and I can ride in tailwinds, more importantly, because today I had a massive one and really needed like the 52-11 to get my tempo and sweet spot efforts out. But I still haven't put bar tape back on. Bar ends are in, but not the bar tape, because well, I'm either waiting on new tape, or I can try to put on the old tape, but I feel like the old tape is just not gonna fit as well, and it's gonna look messy. So yeah, besides, I'm not riding this bike for very much at the minute. I'm riding the gravel bike, and like all of my endurance rides will be on gravel probably for the next few weeks. Aside from that, I obviously had to put a new chain on, because the other chains, the durace chains I was using in the hill climb season, were like too short. So I had to put like a, well, I think this is a 105 Ultegra chain, 12-speed chain. So like I would generally use a cheaper chain, like, because it's winter and it's going to get filthy and everything. So I've got my spares in there. So no saddlebag, although I'll go back to running the saddlebag. But it's just easier to clean. Saddlebag just gets filthy, doesn't it? But yeah, back to that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Bike, aside from that, we've got different tyres on. We've got some Hutchinson Challengers, 28mm, but actually measuring at like 26 or 27 they measure in at. So they're measuring slightly narrower. But yeah, they're actually like, it says on the packet, weirdly, that they can do like 10,000 k. That's like roughly like half a year for me on the road. But I obviously won't ride these tyres all year round. But for the winter, they weigh a ton as well. They're like 400 grams a tyre or something. So I'm keen to see how these go. I've actually set them up tubeless. Well, Urbike set them up for me tubeless. So I'm actually looking forward to my first puncture when I'm struggling on the side of the road in like -3 degrees and they're trying to get a tube in them. But yeah, we shall see how they go. Just walking to my local gym in this unit right here. Shout out Fit Bond. Coming to move some weight.
gym session done. I've got a hot chocolate to walk home with, and that was a pretty good session. I mean, I'm starting to get into it again now. I've had a little bit of a break. Lots of people do ask me from time to time if I do any weightlifting or, strength training. And I'd have to say I do, but it's not consistent. But I'm starting to get that consistency back now. And the off season, or like pre-season, is the time to kind of do it, because you're not really riding your bike as much, you've got a bit more time, and you can, like, the fatigue that you'd get from obviously doing something new like this is kind of balanced, if you will, by less riding. And I'm only doing a couple of exercises. It's nothing like super complex. Charlie's overseeing it a little bit because obviously she's a physio and she's got a little bit of background with this stuff, but she's making sure that I'm not doing too much too soon. But I'm doing like a little warm up, doing some core stuff. I'm doing some only a little bit of upper body. I'm doing like some push and pulls, or some press ups as my push movement, and some face pulls as my pull movement. And then I'm tending to do like my heaviest stuff first. So like when I get into the main sets, like 3 sets of like 8 to 12 reps, I'm using, I would say, only a couple of like machines and weights. I'm doing some split squats with the Smith machine, which are quite intense, to be honest, but I'm really enjoying them. And I'm doing some deadlifts. I'm also doing some calf raises, and then I maybe have like a finisher. So I'll do like box jumps, or I might do some what are they called? Or just some lunges, and just like walking across the gym. It's a great facility actually, because there's free weight section, and there's also like the static weight section, which is where I'm in at the minute. It's only because it's quieter usually. There's less sort of sessions on the free weights area. You've got your power lifters, you've got your real sort of strength athletes in there, and so there's not usually some space. But yeah, today was good. I'm enjoying it. Oh, right, all done. Let me get that fan off. Oh, flip it back. Right, session done. Well chuffed with that. It's a good one actually. Builds nicely on top of what I did yesterday. Was it yesterday? Can't even remember. So it was a classic like zone 3 with like over and under bits. So like 3 minutes under and then 1 minute over. So in terms of actual wattage, I'm doing about 292 watts on the 3 minute portion, and about 325 on the 1 minute over portion. So it's about 80% of FTP and then 90% of FTP. There's 2 24-minute blocks with just 3 minutes of rest between. I actually used erg mode, where power is held steady. Obviously if I was doing this outdoors it wouldn't be as perfect, but to be honest, I was watching on Disney Plus that Braun Formula 1 documentary, and that was happening during a period where I was watching Formula 1 like every weekend with my dad, and so it was like cool to see like behind the scenes of when I was just watching it as a kid, I guess. But yeah, the session went well. I could just switch off, watch that, and just like let the wattage do the work, or let erg mode do the work. So looking at the 2 blocks, obviously they both had the same power output, about 300 watts, and the efficiency factor for the first block was 2.03, and the second one was 1.98. So a small drop there, but the relationship between my power and my heart rate, the first effort, which you would kind of assume would be like where your heart rate hasn't really like reached the level that it would probably operate at if you were to do like a couple. So the first one is always like a little bit blurry because you're still warming up. the difference, like, well, power and heart rate relationship is 0.5%, but in the second block it was 3.75%. So some things to track like this that I'll track over multiple sessions over the coming weeks, and see the improvements and see the changes. So that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed the first training video back. There'll be plenty more coming soon. So until then, subscribe, and I will see you next time.